Hey guys, it is Dani and welcome to this video, and I'm here with updates on the tropics. We have quite a bit to talk about in this video. We have our tropical storm ETA, which is an imminent threat to land. We have our Invest 97L likely to become our subtropical storm THETA, and we also have that Caribbean disturbance. Will that develop and become IOTA, which would have been the next name after THETA? Well, if you want to know if you'll be affected by either of these tropical systems and how strong they may potentially get, please keep watching this video, guys. And so before I go into all the necessary details on these tropical systems, however, please do subscribe if you haven't and tap the bell so you know every time when I post a new video, because I will keep you guys updated on tropical cyclone activity right throughout the season. And you can also follow me on Instagram. My other account is with the girl Dani, and my personal account is Dani Henry Official, and you can also join my Discord server. The link is in the description of this video. Okay guys, so first of course we want to talk about tropical storm ETA. Okay guys, so as you are seeing on satellite, ETA is not looking very organized or symmetrical as a tropical cyclone, but don't let its looks fool you. It's actually pretty strong. So it is a strong tropical storm at this time, and it is of course affecting Florida. We have watches and warnings that are in place for portions of the state. And so now let us go to the National Hurricane Center's cone forecast for the details. So we have a tropical storm warning which is in place for most of Florida, and a tropical storm watch for the westerly side of Cuba. So Cuba, you might be in for some periods of very heavy rainfall, because take a look at that. We're expecting somewhat of a southward light track from ETA as we head throughout today. So it's going to then eventually, as far as this cone is concerned, this is eventually going to be turning up to the north and then move into the northeast and eventually make another landfall in Florida, maybe sometime early on Saturday, guys. And this could also be a threat to other states. So if you're in, I'd say, Georgia and the Carolinas, you really want to pay attention to this tropical system as well, because of course anything can change. Saturday is pretty far from now, and so we tend to see a lot of changes when it comes on to the cone forecast and all of that. So this is definitely one to watch. And also it is expected to re-strengthen to a hurricane, but most likely not as significant as it was before it made landfall in Nicaragua. And so guys, here is the model intensity guidance. We have most of our models keeping this as a strong tropical storm. We have quite a few, however, expecting that it will eventually achieve hurricane status. We have one, or is that two, showing that it might achieve category 2 status, guys. So this is definitely one to watch as we head throughout this week. And in terms of where it might go, we have a few of our models expecting that it's going to be eventually moving into the Gulf of Mexico even more, and not necessarily move up north and then turn out into the Atlantic. So they're kind of disagreeing with what the National Hurricane Center's cone is predicting. So we definitely, as I keep saying, we definitely just have to watch this as time goes by, and it is definitely possible that we could have some changes while the system is going to be hanging around. Okay guys, so next we want to talk about our Invest 97L, and look at that, the formation chance has bumped up to 70%. So this one is definitely expected to become our next tropical cyclone or subtropical cyclone, I would say within about the next day or two, possibly 3. But sometimes we tend to see these subtropical storms come on very rapidly. So this is definitely one to watch. It is not an imminent threat to land, but of course we still have to watch it. And so looking at it on satellite view, there we're having it. So we're seeing a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity taking place, but it's lacking some defined organization. So this is something that it will need in order for it to eventually become a tropical or subtropical cyclone. And of course, as I said, this will acquire the name THETA when it becomes a tropical or subtropical system. I have to say that because it might be first subtropical, then transition into a tropical cyclone. And so in terms of the expected intensity of 97L, we have all of our models expecting it to become a tropical storm. One at this time expecting that it will achieve hurricane status, which is not impossible, but I wouldn't say very likely at this point. And so guys, now let us go on to this other tropical disturbance. It is not yet designated as an invest, but it is expected to form within that shaded orange region, and the orange show that the chance has bumped up, and the chance is now at 50% for this to develop into a tropical cyclone. And so guys, we are not seeing that X to because that low pressure area has not yet developed, but once it does, we will see it to identify this disturbance here. And so now let's look at what quite a few of our models are saying. So first up is the Gfs model, and this is by Tuesday the 17th of November, and we see that it has picked up on that low pressure area developing in the Caribbean, and this is a map showing the isobars that of equal pressure. The closer they are in a circular manner, once the pressure is below 1013 millibars, that's a low pressure system, usually over tropical cyclones. So going further out with this model, we see that the system has moved a bit closer to Jamaica. So if you're in Jamaica, you really want to be cautious, because this could be yet another significant rainmaker, and ETA has been giving us a lot of rain, or was, I should say, for the last couple of days, for the last week, and there was flooding in some areas. And so now going further out, as we're seeing, the system is eventually moving westward, and so GFS is not showing something significant coming from that low pressure area. But looking at the Euro model now, we see that it's picking up on a low pressure system in the South Caribbean, but not really showing something significant developing either. So will this thing develop or not? Let us look at our other models. So next up is the CMC model. And so this is showing that low pressure area south of Jamaica, and this is by Friday, I believe. And so there we have that system developing, and we see that the isobars are kind of wanting to come together more. And so now let us go out further and look at that, something very, very interesting. So this is Sunday, and we see that that tropical system has become much stronger. This is in contrast to what the GFS model and the Euro models are saying. So the CMC model is very confident about this developing and eventually showing a strong tropical cyclone making landfall in Central America, unfortunately showing places that were affected by ETA. So could this become something very significant in the South Caribbean, or will it not? So the possibilities are on the table, but as far as the National Hurricane Center says, it is likely. And so now let us finally look at the Icon model, and it is picking up on that low pressure area in the South Caribbean as well, but it is not showing something developing much from that tropical system there. So we really have to pay attention to it. Even though it might not develop, it could still be a very significant rainmaker. And so now let us look at some factors when it comes on to a tropical cyclone intensifying. And so first up is the ocean temperatures. And we're seeing here that the Caribbean is very, very warm at this time. So ocean temperatures are definitely there. In terms of the Gulf, when it comes down to ETA, the Gulf is having a cool down. So we're not expecting ETA to become very, very strong on approach to the Gulf Coast. And in terms of the wind shear now, the reds mean unfavorable shear, the yellows mean neutral, and the greens mean favorable. So we see a lot of those green shades in the Caribbean. That means that there's a lot of favorable shear. So the shear and the ocean temperatures are going to be supporting that disturbance developing potentially into our next tropical cyclone. And so guys, we really have to stay updated on the tropics and just keep being on alert as time goes by. And so that is really it for this video. And if you found this video to be pretty informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts with me in the comments or ask questions. I'll try to respond as best to anything as I can. And just remember to always be weatherwise. They'll keep giving updates as time goes by.